Hey, it's cooking with Carmen, minus the apron. Okay, it's cooking with Carmen, plus the apron. Today in my disaster of a kitchen, we're making... What are we making? Anyways, we're making Ferrero Rocher, Ferrero. We're making Ferrero Rocher cord cupcakes for a special Joanne. Happy late birthday, because this video obviously was not made during your birthday. Yeah. Okay, what you need is to prep your oven because there's so much shit in your oven. If you're like me and many other Asian families, you don't use your oven primarily as an oven. It's primarily used as storage for every single pot and pan you have. All of them. Okay, so now that your stovetop is covered in pans, set your oven, that's not the right button, to 350. Okay, so for the cake part of the cupcake, you need cacao powder, I think Nutella, sugar, flour, baking powder, salt. You need these. I mean, you don't need these exactly, but you need some cupcake liners. And, okay, haha, psych. Okay, so in addition to your buttermilk and all these other ingredients, you also need some vegetable oil, some vanilla extract, your frozen, has to be frozen, Ferrero Rocher, Ferraro, and an egg. These are for the icing, I'll explain it later. I tried to pour the cocoa powder, but it didn't really work. But anyways, I got half a cup and a little bit extra around the edges, but that's fine. That's fine. This half cup. Okay, and then once you have a mess, you gotta add half a teaspoon of salt and a full teaspoon salt, full teaspoon baking powder. This is baking powder. Yeah, baking powder. Your roommate's baking powder. Okay, psych boy again. You don't need the Nutella. I got 1 cup of flour in here. 3/4 cup of sugar. Dumping that in. Basically, you want to add all your dry ingredients first. I'm gonna mix up the moist ingredients in here. What does that entail? I think this, and this. Yes. Cooking. Give it a gentle whisk. Because y'all know, if you go flinging around like this, it's gonna fly everywhere and you're gonna have a huge mess, and your Roomba, my son Roomberto over there in the corner, ain't gonna help you. Okay, real question. Who thought buttermilk was a good idea? Because here I am, whisking away, and this thing smells pretty bad. So I don't know who was like, oh yeah, I think it's just gonna work great in my cooking endeavors. At this point, after whisking, you realize that you have class in about 20 minutes. Okay, so in another bowl, I got an egg, 3/4 cup vegetable oil, and half a cup of this buttermilk. I think you add a tablespoon vanilla extract. I mean, that's standard, I guess. There it is, beauty and grace. Yeah. Okay, and then once that's well combined, just kind of like add in your dry ingredients. Hope for the best. And then get ready to prep. At this point, if you don't have a chocolate explosion in your house, are you even making cupcakes? Okay, wow, pro tip, don't dump it all your dry ingredients at the same time. I think I just inhale some chocolate. Ugh! Okay, so once your kitchen mess has multiplied and you have that mixed together, and she thick, honey. You want to line these with the batter, basically. I'll show you soon. And after you line it with the batter, you stick one of those in and then cover it with the batter and then stick it in the oven. And then here we go, into the oven we go for like 20 minutes, I guess. It takes only 20 minutes because the core, if you remember, is not needing, the core does not need to be cooked. Look at my foot in the reflection. Okay, therefore, what was I even talking about? The core of the cupcake doesn't need to be cooked, therefore it takes less time to bake in the oven compared to a normal cupcake, because something about science, something about surface area, I need a nap. I need a nap. And so while that's in the oven, you realize it's 3:40 and your kitchen looks like this, and RIP pile, So while you're waiting for your beautiful cupcakes, clean your goddamn kitchen. Clean it. Cause you know when you make icing, it's about to be a mess. It's about to be a mess. Also, I promise my kitchen is not always like that, because every time I happen to film CWC, it's just a mess. So I don't really know what to say about that. So. Ooh, okay, so while you're waiting for that, you can do something. I'm not making the icing yet because I need to go to class. But anyways, make sure your cream cheese is sitting out, because it's gonna be difficult to work with solid butter and solid cream cheese. So anyways, while you're waiting for that, well, not really waiting for that, prep your bag, take a plastic bag, snip a little corner off, and bam, piping bag. If you want to be extra fancy, I got this little rose tip. Is this in frame? Rose tip piping tool tip, piping tip. You just stick it in there. So once you're ready, you put your icing in the bag and then you just pipe. I'll show that later. Yes. Okay, so our beautiful Ferrero cupcakes are done. Pro tip, they're fresh out the oven, okay? Oh yeah, also you should probably clear out the stuff from your oven earlier if you're me. But also, if you want to cool faster and you're not if you're in a rush, just put on a cooling rack, which is just basically an elevated rack surface. Yes. Don't you dare try to frost while it's piping hot. Your frosting, icing, whatever you use, is gonna melt. It's gonna slide up. It's not gonna look cute. It's gonna look like a mess. And that's a pro tip, to not look like a goddamn amateur. It's not amateur hour here. Professionals only. Okay, if you're like me and want to be disgustingly extra, get some wax paper, melt some chocolate in the microwave for 20-second intervals. Get enough so it drips, so you can make some beautiful like shapes to top off your beautiful cupcake. Aha, that didn't work. Test kitchen. Anyways, I have this in a bag now. Maybe it'll work better this way. Just kind of make some shapes, you know, like it's just gonna top your cupcake, like some shapes. Okay, I'm here post class. It's very dark outside, but here we are. They're cool, they're chilled, and if they're not, we have a bigger problem on our hands. Got a stick of butter, got a cup of sugar, and then dump in your whole cream cheese. Got a 1/3 cup Nutella, a bit of cocoa powder, some salt, that's the word, salt, and a little bit of vanilla. at that. Wow. Okay, so anyways, here's my cupcake. Subscribe.